This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition. Covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO Radio. What's up, everybody? Ignition. Back in the studio following the Auto Club finals. I'm back from Los Angeles and ready for the final race of the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series season, Ford Championship weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. If you are not headed down there, then you are making a huge mistake because it is going to be great. I know I'm headed down there along with Giovanni in Miami, who joins us from Miami. Giovanni, you'll be headed down there.
I am headed down there right now.
There it is. And what we're doing is we're getting together for a brief pre-show. This week was totally destroyed because of the travel and all the stuff that was going on. But we are able to get together for this. It's like a happy hour show for everybody as we get ready to go to the race. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we're going to spend the whole weekend at Homestead, Miami. So finale, excitement. New champion. Well, maybe not new champion. But
yeah, well, not
we'll
a new
see.
champion. What are you talking about? 3 of the guys have a chance to be a 2-time champion. The 4th has got a chance to be the new champion. I know why you're saying that, though, because you're already giving it to Joey Logano. You're just handing it to Joey. You've already done it. If he doesn't win it, it's because of what you just said. But I can tell you're very high energy. I am as well, very excited about what's going to go on. But I do have some unfortunate news I want to relay to the audience. And then we'll bring it back up again, as is the case every now and again in our racing community, our extended racing community. There is bad news. There was a tragedy yesterday right here in Florida. Kat Moeller, part of the Elaine Larson Jet Dragster team, who was just a 24-year-old Florida Tech graduate, was killed in a exhibition run at Sebring, which has a drag strip, Sebring International Raceway. It happened on Thursday night. There's not a whole lot of information. She was driving the American Dream Racing Team, one of 6 teams under the Elaine Larson team. And Kat Moeller has passed away. Now, why is this? This is obviously terrible because it is drag racing, but it hits home especially because she was a Florida girl, and even more importantly, because Elaine is a friend of WFO, and we've spent a lot of time together out there on the NHRA trail, and I announced Kat Moeller's licensing runs at Palm Beach International Raceway. And so waking up to this is, it's an auto racing, it's car racing. This is part of it. Of course, I try to desensitize myself to this as best as possible. This hits home, and the racing community, you can see if you go onto Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, as they are finding out, is devastated. This is terrible. And you know, Florida Today has got some social media response, and there's response from people that we know. Jake Sundstrom from NHRA National Dragster. I hope she's remembered for how incredibly passionate she was about what she did. Krista Baldwin, completely saddened about the news of Jet Dragster pilot Kat Moeller. Just a reminder that life is short, and do what you love. It's just a very sad thing for a young lady that was, chasing a dream, loved jet dragsters, and started out right here in our region. We'd seen her go on to great things, and sad. A sad sub-story here as we head into the weekend. Of course, we'll go to the track and we'll, live our lives, and but it's these moments that, make you realize how brief it can be.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess in all of life, but especially in motorsport, this has sometimes happened, and it's very sad, especially when the youngsters go, man.
Yeah, well, at 24 years old, and I think most of the people that I know have interacted with her, and Just awful. It's just awful. It's sad news, terrible news. But, as is the case here on WFO, we're going to bring you back up now. We're going to bring you back up because I know the drag racers and I know the racers, and that's what they want. They don't want negativity. They want to move back forward. And so that's what we're going to do. A little later, we're heading down to Homestead Miami Speedway. Elephant Racers and maybe some others are going to be there. Gio, you have successfully given away all the tickets for the most part, which is fantastic. We have had a successful ticket giveaway here on WFO. The end of the year is just so challenging. What we have decided to do, though, is we are going to focus. Yes, Kyle Busch won the last race. We're not going to get into all results and all of that. Our great friend Lowe's Chincones was out there at Phoenix doing all kinds of crazy social media. We instead are going to focus on ourselves and the Fantasy League Championship battle, which has gotten very, very interesting. We're going to make our picks, and then we're going to go enjoy the final race of the year because we've earned it. This has been just a fun season, and champions will be crowned. But it's really who we predicted, right? The big 3 plus 1, and that one turned out to be Joey Logano.
Yeah, Joey did what he had to. He won a race in the playoffs, and he got himself into the Final Four.
I know, and I think that at the start of the season, I predicted Martin Truex would go back-to-back. I'll probably stick with that. But my eyes are on Joey Logano. I think he could be a spoiler here. You've got the last 3 Cup champions. You had Truex, Harvick, and Kyle Busch, right? The last 3, and plus 1. Joey Logano, who was in the mix for all of those and just didn't quite make it. So this is going to be a very high-profile championship. This is a season of dominance by these drivers, and they made it all the way to the Final Four. And I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. You got Kyle Busch. You got Martin Truex Jr., who is moving over to Joe Gibbs Racing in the 19 next year. You got Kevin Harvick, who is without his crew chief after that massive penalty. We did not get to talk about that penalty very much because I was in Las Vegas or Los Angeles or somewhere. And that was a massive penalty, but Harvick obviously not so big because Harvick was able to make it through. But now without his own crew chief.
I don't even know that I find that whole suspensions in midweek and cars failing inspection at R&D. I don't know. I think NASCAR really needs to do something about that, whether I don't know exactly what the answer is. But if a car passes post-race inspection, then why is it that on Wednesday when they take it into the R&D center and they look over it with a fine-tooth comb, then they find something like that? That's the kind of stuff I don't understand. If a car fails, then the car failed. But if he passes inspection pre and post at the racetrack, then what exactly are they failing?
Yeah, we're going to have to dig into that a little bit deeper here this weekend.
But it does put Harvick at a disadvantage. But I don't know. I think Harvick he's such a veteran that I don't really know if that's going to,
and Tony Gibson,
what keeps him from winning.
And Tony Gibson will be the crew chief who's got a lot of experience and has been in the championship fights many times in the past. So I'm not really worried about that. But it's going to be, but it is something. It is something. He'll also have a new tire changer taking off Almirola's car. But it's going to be very fun. It's going to be exciting watching the battle of these 4 to determine who is the 2018 NASCAR Cup Series champion. In the Xfinity Series, it'll be Chris Bell, Cole Custer, Daniel Hemrick, and Tyler Riddick. And in the Truck Series race, which is Friday night, this evening, Noel Grayson, Justin Haley, Brett Moffitt, and Johnny Sauter, because why wouldn't you have Johnny Sauter? He's always in it when you come down to Homestead. He is. He's always in it. He's always in it. Some other just news just to throw out there because I want to get it out there. Ally Financial is going to be the sponsor of Jimmy Johnson in 2019. So they were able to pick up a big sponsor for that car. Ally Financial, from what I understand, that is the spun-off financing arm, GMAC, right? That's General Motors. So really, it's the GM well. Once again, they're all connected. You build these relationships over years, and you know all these people in there, and they were able to get Ally Financial under a new name, GMAC, to support the 48 team of Jimmy Johnson. Very interesting stuff. Just a couple of notes, Formula One. Lewis Hamilton picks up the win in Brazil, but the big battle was Max Verstappen and Ocon, which I believe Giovanni refers to as October.
Not me, the kid.
The kid. They got into a big mix-up, and Hamilton is able to go on and win their race. We'll get into that and the amazing, Haas F1, couple cars in the top 10, all that next week. Into the future,
right? Because the Formula One finale is not till next weekend in Abu Dhabi. So we'll work with NASCAR since we're here. We're down here. We're going to be in the celebration, and we'll concentrate our I was going to say expanded show on NASCAR today.
Expanded show, except it's not even expanded. It's expanded about the the Fantasy League, and I have 1,000 stories from the Auto Club Finals and the awards ceremony. I've got 1,000 stories. But I will save those. For our legendary Hollywood screenwriter William Goldman has died. I'm seeing that as I have Twitter open up. And that's the only thing that catches my eye with that. And the reason I paused is because I have a great buddy who's named William Goldman. And so it was like, what?
Yeah.
What? But no. It's the 87-year-old. There you go. So, all right, let's get into the Fantasy League results.
And by the way,
yes,
I just want to point out that Jimmy Johnson won the championship. It wasn't last year, but the year before, I think. So these aren't the last three champions.
Oh, yeah,
remember Jimmy?
That is right. That is right. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you corrected me. 3 of the last 4 because you had Kyle Busch, you had Kevin Harvick, Jimmy
Kyle,
Johnson, and then Martin Truex.
Jimmy and then Martin, right.
But what's interesting is that that Jimmy Johnson championship could have been and maybe should have been Joey Logano, right? That's the one where Carl Edwards crashed everybody out because he was freaking out because Joey tried to pass him.
With a couple of laps left.
With a few laps to left. He made the championship about whether or not he got to the first corner. Like, if I make it to the first corner in the lead, I'm the champion. It's like, no, not really. That's not what happens. And want to hear an interesting but sad sub-story to this whole thing, Gio? This is our last Ford Championship weekend together.
What?
Yep.
What do you mean?
There's a scheduling change.
Is one of us going to meet our untimely demise?
No, I'm going to be in Los Angeles at this time next year. The NHRA has changed the schedule of the Auto Club Finals to be on this weekend next year and go directly up against the NASCAR finale. Same weekend.
Oh, wow. That's terrible. Why on earth would they do that?
They did that because the SEMA show, which is vital and key to a great Las Vegas race, backed their show up a week. And so NHRA would then have been marooned on an island the week before everybody arrived in Las Vegas. And so that would have been a horrific thing because the SEMA show and the NHRA race kind of go together. And so when the SEMA show moved, NHRA had no choice but to move and push everything back. And so next year, I will, my string, assuming everything still works with the NHRA and all, assuming that I still, get the opportunity to do the NHRA work, I will be there.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to be down here by myself?
Yeah, the whole thing. The wheels are coming off the whole thing. I just wanted to report you on that. It's very sad. It's a big bummer. And, you never know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's going to happen. But it's very sad.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to figure it out.
We're going to have to party like it's 1999, though. And all you listeners, that didn't want to come down, you messed up. You blew it.
You may not get a chance to go to the season finale with Joe again.
No, you won't.
You know what? They're all going to end up over there in Pomona with you anyway.
That's probably true. And as much as it's sad that they miss out on the beautiful beaches and all, we get the beaches all the time. And so it's no big deal.
That's right.
No big deal. All right, so let's get into the fantasy results for the Can-Am 500. Let's face it, that's all anybody in the WFO audience really cares about. Certainly, we can't control anything else that is happening, but we can control this. There is a spot on the trophy that needs a name. And who will it be? But the weekly winner last week was Car 24 Fan, followed by Brian Spink and NHRA Nut. Woodchuck was tied with Brian Spink and NHRA Nut, rather. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, 5th, scores 309, climbs way back up when everybody else is floundering. Go Fast Turn Left, 6th. Tom Inc., 7th. New Hampshire Bucknut, 8th. Dirty Hippies, 8th. 9th, Craig and Newhall, or 10th, Craig and Newhall, and also 10th, Stubo, Supergas Crew Chief. Now, I just want to know, Giovanni in Miami, with the pressure on the line, where a championship hope, first of all, Los Gincones, 259, a total choke job. Low, what are you doing? And Gio in Miami, 22nd, 257. You guys lost a lot of ground, What the heck happened, Gio?
It was not a good week. I don't know what to say. It was not a terrible week because I guess Lowe still maintained the lead, but we lost a lot of ground to Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, which is the one person that cannot win. We cannot allow him to win.
In the immortal words of the President of the United States, you choked like a dog.
Yeah?
You choked like a dog.
I choked like a dog, man. I couldn't do it. I'm less than 100 points, but now Mr. Fantasy NASCAR and Craig and Newhall are in between.
Okay, well, here's the results, and this is it, going into the final race with the trophy on the line. Like, this is it, and it's incredible. We do have audio from Los Gincones. He called in. We're going to play that audio, but here it is. 9,799 points. Los Gincones leads, but a huge move right at the end to get within 57 points. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR Chad Robb, the Fantasy Hall of Famer, who joined our league this year because he heard it was the toughest league in the history of the world and is poised to snatch the championship away from a longtime WFO players, Los Gincones, by 57 points back. That's very nerve-wracking right there. Craig and Newhall, 65 back, so he is in the mix as well. And Gio in Miami, 95 points back. Technically, you're not out of it, but it's pretty unlikely.
There's 3 people ahead of me. That makes it difficult.
That's exactly the truth.
It's not impossible. I have my preliminary team, which obviously is locked already because today is Friday. I went a little different than everybody else. I didn't go with the usuals, so I tried to change it up so as I could either completely fall and drop another 100 points or have the opportunity to make a move, because you can't make a move having the same drivers as the guys in front of you.
No, that's it. Exactly.
And Lowe even tweeted a picture of his team out yesterday.
Oh, we've got audio. Let's hear it. Let's take a second to listen to the audio from the first place. The guy who has been in the top 3 in the WFO Fantasy League, I think the last 3 years. He has yet to get his name on the trophy. And his Boston Red Sox won the World Series. And now he's got a chance to do an amazing double. It's a crazy thing. All right, here's Los Gincones.
WFO, fellas. It's Fernando from Los Gincones calling. We are down to one final race, Homestead, Miami, Ford EcoBoost 400. Just wanted to call and say that if you guys want to make any ground on me, this is my team. For the A's, I have Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick. For the B's, I got Blaney, Boyer, Kurt Busch, and Matt Kenseth. And for the C's, Chris Buescher. And that's probably where you're going to beat me. But other than that, may the best team win. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, best of luck. Craig Newhall, you still got a shot. Gio and MIA, you don't have a prayer, buddy. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say is good luck, and we'll talk to you guys hopefully next week, and with my champion speech. So, yeah, that's all I got. You guys take care. Have a great time at the races. And WFO. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. 2018 World Champs, baby. Go Red Sox. Woo! WFO!
And there you have it. And he's got to get the shot in about the Red Sox at the end there, Gio. No big deal. That's fine, Lo. You did. You guys won. Good job. But now we've got Mr. Fantasy NASCAR and Lo and Craig and Newhall. We have not heard once from Craig and Newhall at all. So Craig and Newhall is in it, man. Craig and Newhall, like right at the end, though, he's sliding back. It could go any way. By the way, if Mr. Fantasy NASCAR wins it, it'll be fine. But
remember, the Bug Barn in Low had a two-car breakaway there for a while, and the Bug Barn has closed out slowly. Craig,
like a dog.
I think, some of these guys also they don't call in because they don't want to jinx themselves.
That's exactly what it is. Are you kidding me? They don't want to be on the radar. We're on the. Craig and Newhall has been very strategic in being off the radar. He'll be on the radar if he wins the deal. But look at who's up there, Smothered and Covered, and Uper One, and Go Fast Turn Left. Past champions. The cream rising to the top. But Lo, this is his year. This is his year. It started out.
Well, he actually came in second. Was not last year. It was the year before. Last year he choked like a dog and didn't even make a run.
Like a dog.
Like 95th or something.
Oh man! First, I hope people get the joke.
If I can't win, I want either Craig or Lowe to win. We cannot let Mr. Fantasy NASCAR just come in here and run shot on our league in his first year ever.
Now, I will say, though, that he did recommend this site for us, which was very nice, and he kind of became a part of our existence at that point, because otherwise, we might not have even found this site. But at the same time, he probably does have some experience and knowledge with the site that we are not up to speed with. So it makes perfect sense that he would go out there and have a great year. Now, Lowe's Chincones, Lo and I, and little Lo, we hung out in Phoenix this year at the start of the season. So the season had, started off with a certain energy and mojo to it, and has been able to keep it going all year long. Like the fact that we hung out maybe has something to do with him going on and having such a great year, both in the major leagues and in the fantasy league.
All right, could be.
Yeah,
could very well.
Positive energy. All right, so Elephant Racers is 9th, Day Racing 21 is 10th. Now on the fives, just for everybody to get up to speed for your final time. The final countdown. Go Fast Turn Left is 15th. 20th is Mrs. Black Ice. 25th is Brian Spink. 30th is Patrick of the Webmaster. Just ahead of I Can See Her Almirolas and Butt Sniffer Racing, who it appears that Butt Sniffer Racing is going to beat Miss Little Low. And so, barring some sort of really unforeseen circumstance, which, it's still possible. 35th is the Tennessee Moneyman, just ahead of Spider Monkey Racing. 40th is Southern Racer X, just ahead of Low Blinker Fluid and Team Gray. Team Gray, 42nd. And it looks like Team Gray is going to finish ahead of Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe just dropped 6 positions. You know how many points I scored in the last one? 92. And I had Brad Keselowski, and everybody else finished outside of the top 30. Just,
wow.
Yeah. I thought maybe, did I not set a team or was I out of guys? Nope. They just all stunk.
You just picked a bad team.
Bad team. I had Blaney. I had, it was just awful. Terrible. Miss J 48, 50th, just behind Hockey Kid and ahead of JG 24 LKB. WFO Joe there, still ahead of Rich and Saugus, who did not show up at the Auto Club Finals. A lot of people out there on the West Coast were sick. Rich and Saugus was sick. Kathy was sick. Everybody was sick and sickly. And
probably all that smoke and fire.
That's exactly what it was. The people are having problems with the fires. NHRA Nut, 55th, 60th Moonchild, 65th Catch Me, and there you go. So pick your favorite. This is it, the final countdown. It's the final countdown. That wasn't too good, but I know you're not here. I don't want to ask you to do production.
I think it was Mike Race Guitar said that he was tired of hearing that song, that he did not want me to insert that into the show anywhere else again.
Why not? What's wrong with Europe?
I don't know. You didn't see him tweeting that he had heard that song just way too much in the last.
Well, it's now in I think a Geico commercial or a Progressive commercial where they're out at the microwave.
That's what it is too. You're right. There was some sort of TV commercial with it.
The final countdown. It's bad. I know it's bad. Gio, hopefully we'll go into post-production and fix that. Maybe not, though. Maybe.
No. Gio's already. Gio is actually working as we speak, and will be heading to the track. So there better not be any post production.
No, you're going to have to insert Lowe's call, but that'll be super easy. Maybe I can even do that. All right, and so there it is. That's what's happening in the Fantasy League on WFO. There it is. It's basically Craig and Newhall, Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, and Lowe. It's amazing that Lowe has been able to be up front all year long, man. You got to give him credit. Got to give him credit all year long. He's been at the front.
He's been running first all year
He's been
long.
Very close. Listen, okay, here we go.
He's been up near the top. You're right. But
inside the
Bud Barn
numbers.
was leading for a while. And we'll go back and do a full
the
review
most
for next weekend.
wins
When Patrick gives us the final season.
Well, we got him right here. The most wins on the season, like weekly wins, Craig and Newhall with 3. Lowe has 2.
Yeah, look at that.
A lot of people have 2.
13 top 10s.
Yes, 6 top 5s and 13 top 10s. Craig and Newhall has had probably the best season. And hopefully he's been working from the back, man. That's what you got to do. Fantasy players, like Bobby's Bug Barn. Look what happened to poor Bobby. Bobby is the guy, he's the marathon runner that passes out and falls on his face 10 feet from the tape.
Or in the last half mile, in the last quarter mile.
In the last 50 feet, man. There it is. Nope, you're not making
He
it.
didn't have a good playoff run. It's really it.
Yeah.
He didn't have a good playoff run.
He told me, though. He told me it was all going south. He's like, I'm out of drivers, man. I'm out of drivers. You got to work backwards,
Allocations,
people.
man.
Work backwards.
The hippie who has not been doing a tippy has always been one to point out. Allocation is very important, the driver allocation.
23rd, 30 hippies. Certainly not a great year. No wonder. We're going to have to figure out something else with the fantasy update. Whoever's the champ is probably going to have to do it starting next year.
Maybe we'll do something like that. Yeah, no, especially now since the hippie doesn't want to give anybody any tips. You know what it is? That he's just not that good anymore.
That's what it is. Lost a step or two.
He's becoming the what is that? The aging superstar.
The aging superstar. That's it. It's time to go, man. It's time to go. All right. Lots going on. Jim Utter has done a story, and he says it's already won, and it's Kyle Busch is going to win. He's done, I think that's where I got my last 3 statement. Like the last 3 champions. Did you see that?
Everybody. I've seen the one where it says why Joey Logano's going to win. So I think I saw that one this morning. So I think they probably did one for all 4 drivers.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe. But Jim Utter says whoever wins Chicago wins the championship each of the last 3 seasons. And this year it was Kyle Busch. So I think that's kind of interesting. And we got all this. And we're going to do some audio from the track, right? We're going to figure out something. We're going to do some audio from the track. Figure it out.
Yeah, we'll definitely figure something out.
All right, but right now, though.
Maybe we'll do something tomorrow morning, too, or tomorrow, and,
Well, remember, there's not going to be any...
laptop and I'll go in the media center and post something.
There's not going to be any wheel, definitely for the Patreons. I'll do something for the Patreons.
Oh, there you go. We could definitely do something like that. Yes, absolutely.
But right now,
that's easy to get up there.
Let's do our Monster Energy Cup Series EcoBoost 400 picks. And this is it, the final race of the year.
Some of us have to get back to work.
No, I understand. Bob Smith, Rich York, Gio in Miami, and I go last.
Someone over here is yelling that someone needs to start working, not get back to work.
Well, nobody, right, exactly. Nobody cares about what's going on behind the scenes over there. But basically, I can just give the pick. Here are the odds. Kevin Harvick's 12-5, Kyle Busch 7-2, Kyle Larson 9-2, Martin Truex Jr. 5-1, Joy 10-1, Brad Keselowski 12-1, Chase Elliott 12-1, and those are the drivers that are available for our favorite pick. Dark horses, Denny Hamlin 20-1, along with Clint Boyer 22-1. You got Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch. 22-1, you got Eric Jones. 50-1, you got Eric Almirola and Jimmy Johnson. Can you believe it? Jimmy Johnson's 50-1. 100-1, Alex Bowman, the Showman, and Paul Menard. Daniel Suarez and Ryan Newman. 150-1, you got Jamie McMurray and Austin Dillon. William Lord Byron, 150-1 also. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 250-1, along with Matt Kenseth. AJ Allmendinger, 500-1. Bubba, Chris Buescher, and Ty Dillon, all 1,000-1, man. 1,000-1, Gio. Let's put $100 on that and figure out how to make it happen. 500-1 the field. All right, the picks. Bob Smith goes first. Rich York goes second, then Gio. Bob takes Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Harvick at 12-5 and Denny Hamlin at 20-1. That's Bob's move, by the way. You may not have noticed over the course of the season. Bob takes the chalk. If he goes first, he takes the chalk. That's it. Every week, those are Bob's picks. Bob's a very busy guy. I totally understand it, but that's been his strategy if you hadn't noticed. Next up, Rich York taking Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney. Kyle Busch at 9-2. What is Kyle Busch's thing? At 7-2, and Ryan Blaney at 22-1. And those are both very strong picks. Now, Giovanni in Miami. Go.
Those are definitely good picks. Everybody knows the NASCAR playoff races are won by playoff drivers. And so I'm going to go with Logano to be the dark horse from the big three to sneak in there and get the win at Homestead tonight. Oh, well, not tonight, but Sunday night.
Sunday.
Dark horse, I'm going to go with former playoff driver, Almirola. He's still running well. He had a good run in Phoenix last week. Definitely has been an upgrade in the driver position for the 10th car. No offense to the previous driver. And I'm going to go with Almirola and Joey Logano be the champion for 2018 to get his championship and become what everyone sliced bread was supposed to become.
Wow, that would be great, and I'm okay with that. Eric Almirola and Joey Logano. I like those picks. I am going to go in a different direction since you already took Joey Logano. I said at the very start of the season that Martin Truex Jr. was going back-to-back. I felt that their performance advantage at the end of last year was really strong and that they would be able to carry it over. They did make the Final Four. They haven't been running quite as good as in the past, but you may recall last year here at Homestead, they ran very well. I think they're going to be able to pull it out and pick up the win and go back-to-back. And in the interest of continuity, I'm staying with the person that got me to the dance, which is Martin Truex Jr. As far as at 5-1. As far as the dark horse goes, Clint Boyer 20-1 because we love the way he celebrates. And how great would that be for us to celebrate with Clint Boyer after it's all over down there, Gio?
That would be pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd be all, Clint, what's up, buddy? Be like, hey, Joe, Gio, how you guys doing? Come on, let's do it. Yeah, ha, ha, whatever he says. And there it is. So Joe takes Martin Truex Jr. and Clint Boyer. Gio takes Joey Logano and Eric Almirola. Rich takes Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney. And Bob Smith takes Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Now, I do want to say this, though. Just a little race analysis before we go. Okay?
Well, here, hold on. How about a little bit? We haven't really talked much about this, but we haven't had the best playoff run. I was going to say chase because
I feel like we've had the worst one
in previous years, just like last year. So far, we are hitting at 5 out of 9, but we have hit the last 3 in a row. We started off the season very, very hot on fire. We picked like 13 or 14 winners in a row, and then we went a little cold there after that. But
cold as ice.
When you add up the season totals, it has still been a record-breaking season. We're hoping to bring the winner and champion home at Homestead. And we'll give you full results on that next week, too.
It has been a record-breaking season?
Record winners.
Really? Well,
yeah.
we got a hot start, man. That's what it is. We got a hot start. We stumbled a little bit down the stretch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in a row we actually picked.
That is pretty impressive. That is good stuff. All right, here's what I want to just talk a little bit about the race and the racing action. First of all, the Joey Logano story. I am locked in on that. Now, you picked Joey to win the race, but I also think that Joey is going to win the championship also. I know I just picked Truex, but I just feel the energy around Joey. I feel like he has been out of the spotlight, off the radar, and very determined. There are some things that happened to Joey Logano in his little life and his little career that we're not really thinking about right now. But he is. And he got screwed out of a championship a couple years ago by Matt Kenseth, and he got screwed out of a championship a couple years ago by Carl Edwards. I feel like it was the same year. Maybe it wasn't. They all blur together. But the point is, this is it. One race to win the championship. It is such a cool opportunity. Joey, you want to be a champion? You want to be a NASCAR immortal? You want to live up to the hype? You want to do all that stuff? Yeah? All you got to do is win this race, man. And I think the kid's got what it takes. Now, his competition, very tough. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick. But I think Joey Logano can overcome that. And so I am watching for Joey Logano to become a first-time champion, beat the big three, and really become that immortal that we were talking about.
Wow, that would be something special, too. I'm sure we'll be with someone that would be very, very happy if that happens.
Oh, my gosh, and the gray would go nuts. He would get to experience a champion.
Yeah, no, to all of these guys, not just Joey winning one, but any of the other three drivers, if they get their second one, that really stamps them. There aren't that many two-time champions, let's just say.
Oh no, one of those other guys, if they get it, they will become a two-time champ.
You can, I don't want to say get lucky, but you could always somehow back into a win or a championship. But once you start doing it 2 or 3 times, that's not, that's a sign there.
It's true. No, it's true. And not that you back into a championship, but who knows? Like Kyle Busch, the year he won his championship, he only had to run half a season. And so he was refreshed when everybody else was exhausted. And so it's, he's got something to prove with this championship because most people don't even really consider his first championship a real championship.
You're so terrible. It is a real championship.
All right, I'm
correct.
kidding.
So he did only run about 20 races that year. No, I don't know. I don't know how many he missed.
There's an asterisk.
He only missed, like 10 or 11 races.
There's an
But
asterisk.
that's still, he missed at least a third of the season.
By the way, the guy had a broken leg. Not like he was asking for that. You know what I mean? He wasn't on vacation by any means. His leg was broken. He was in a horrible crash. But hey, those are the breaks.
But he is actually lucky that over the years NASCAR changed the system because in the olden days he would have never been able to accumulate the points to win the championship out if you missed more than one race, probably.
No, it was definitely the product of NASCAR welfare.
Sterling Martin, when he broke his neck, he was leading the championship that year.
Yes, poor Sterling.
Or I don't remember if he actually broke his neck, but he had an injury in a car crash. I remember.
Yes, well, that was the year that Jamie McMurray came in, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
and won a race in that car. Yes.
Yes. Well, there you have it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Very good. You see?
See, there's stuff in there. There is stuff in there. All right. So, final thoughts.
Right.
Final thoughts before we get on out of here and we start heading down to Homestead Miami
No,
Speedway.
It's been a long, exciting season. I can't believe it's coming to an end. We are just discussing here with someone yesterday that I can't believe next week is Thanksgiving, but it is.
Yes, and I will be racing in the Citrus Nationals at Palm Beach International Raceway for any local WFO listeners who is considering going out to Palm Beach International Raceway. One reason you might choose to go out there is because I will be racing.
Well, there you go. You get to go see Hall of Famer Joe Castello.
That's right, Hall of Famer, and they used our car in an ad on their digital advertising, which was kind of cool. Kind of fun.
Well, very good.
There it is. All right, Giovanni. All right. See you later. I'm going to send you this
Enjoy
audio.
The races, everyone.
You're going to put it up.
See me at the track. Yell WFO.
Yell WFO. That's it. All right, Giovanni in Miami's out of here. Later, bud.
Bye.
There he goes. And I will just continue a couple of moments as we are at the tail end. And this is it. Okay, we're going to continue WFO through the off season. As you know, you guys know, you're the Ignition listeners. You know. But what will I let you in on right now? One, it is Friday. It is Friday at 11:11 a.m., right? Is that right? 11:11. Wrapping up here at 11:11. I don't normally like to timestamp the show, but just so you understand, literally dropping the mic and heading down to Homestead Miami Speedway. I'll be working in the fan zone outside the track, like, outside, not in the infield, but on the outside. Sometimes it was, Sprint Vision fan zone, could have been, like a Ford fan zone. I have no idea who the sponsor is this year, but it's a nice chalet area. It's very cool, and I just kind of hang out in there and make sure everybody has a good time. So if you're in that area, you probably can't just get in there, but maybe you can. Stop by and say hi, and we're going to have fun. The 2018 season. This Cat Moeller story, waking up to that, it's just terrible. Young lady, we weren't best friends or anything. We had spoken a couple of times, but, I saw the start of her career. I was right there for the very beginning. Her licensing runs. And just sad. But that's car racing. That's car racing, and everybody will tell you it. That's car racing. You're going to go 200 miles per hour, you're going to go 300 miles per hour with a nitro-burning whatever or a jet-powered whatever underneath you. Every now and again, something horrible is going to happen. It's just, that's it. Everybody knows it. And horrible things happen every day, too. And this is the sport that we all love and we're all very passionate about, and that was the case with Cat Moeller and Elaine Larson and that team. I know they're devastated. I can't even imagine. But we're gonna forge forward because that's all you can do. We've had a great year. You may have heard this is the 10th year of WFO Radio. We have entered our 10th year in existence as a podcast right now, pretty much, beginning with our NHRA Nitro show from this week. And all this coming year will be the 10th year of WFO, building up to the 10th anniversary of the show, something like that. We're in the 10th year, going to the 10th anniversary. We, as in me and Gio and Patrick and others, have really tried to sort it all out, and we're mostly on the same page. This is the 10th year of WFO, building up to the 10th anniversary, which will be in 2019 at the end of it. I want to thank everybody for supporting the program. We will try very hard to bring you first-class, high-quality entertainment during the winter break. We have these fantastic sponsors who have been just so gracious to us and supporting this program. The sponsors have made it all possible, and I want to mention them all and let you know that the holidays are coming, and hopefully, if you need something from one of these sponsors, you will call them, you'll contact them, and you'll tell them that you want it and that WFO has put you on to them. HusseyPerformance.net. We're talking about the copper head gaskets, copper gaskets for high-performance applications, whatever your business. If you build engines and you need copper head gaskets, you know, the ones that you're using versus the Hussey Performance ones that are on Sean Bellamere's machine. Like, really? Get the Hussey Performance ones. CatSpotLitter.com. Scott Palmer, Magic Dry. Stepped up with WFO big time. Helped us out a lot. Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com. Marvin Rodax, stalwart supporter. Great guy. Barbecue, spice rub, coffee. Get it. Holiday packs. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. So many cars going into the Samtech Factory Stock Showdown next year, including the Mitsoses are going to go in there. Mountain View Tire and others. Bo and others. Word is they're switching to an 8-race season. Motorsportsguys.com. Terry McMillan, Jim Walzak. It's a mail order business. So, you know, here's how I visualize you being able to use them. You're going to do an oil change on your car. You want good quality oil. You go to motorsportsguys.com. You get your filter. You get your Amalie motor oil. And there it is. Motorsportsguys.com. Don't forget your Vegas Wind Tribune hat. And we know that a lot of the guys in the warehouse listen to WFO. What's up, guys? Thank you so much. Aerospacecomponents.com, Kim Cussy and her team. Brakes, vacuum pumps, shifters. If you're going to make a big upgrade to the braking system of your car or some sort of major component like that, consider Aerospace Components. Not only do they look good, they work very, very well. Hangstafers, Laboratories, Metalworking Lubricants, PRI Trade Show. Anybody that's going to be on the PRI Trade Show, I will, next week, begin giving booth number, dates, and times when you should come by the Hangstafers booth, and we'll show them what's up with WFO. And audible.com/WFO Nitro. That's audible.com/WFO Nitro. These are people that have helped the show to this point, but also the Patreons. Patreon.com/WFO Radio. And what that is like people want to just send, pay for the show. They want to pay for the show. They want to offer some money so that we can do the show and pay for our internet bill or whatever it is. And this year we've got a lot, like 16 people on there. And that's just great. And that number is growing. And people are really stepping up and supporting, and that is how we will be able to do more. It has been great and a fantastic year. Big news coming out very soon. All across the board. You're going to want to be connected to WFO. You're going to want to be up to speed to hear the thoughts about it all going down. And I would just say, stay locked to the internet as new information comes down the pike rapidly. But me personally, I've had a great year. Performance TV restarts in January, and heading up to PRI and Johnson City, Tennessee, once again to start recording. We'll be doing that December and January. So many good things happening. Got to keep the momentum going. And hopefully you guys have all had wonderful years, positive years in your lives, and good things going. This sounds like a New Year's show, but it's not. But it is sad. It is sad because this is my final. Well, maybe it won't be my final. Like, who knows? But I've got a choice. I've got a very difficult professional choice that I have to make, right? Do I go to the NHRA season finale, which is now on the same weekend as the NASCAR Ford Championship weekend finale, which is right at my house? Do I fly across the country, or do I stay at my house? And, clearly, it's very complex. It's just unfortunate that I have to make that choice. But there are people who have to decide between, whether they're going to eat or whether they're going to pay their electrical bill. So this is an easier choice than that. I'll figure it out. Figure out how to clone myself. Be in both places at once. Or maybe another, just like a cherry gig, is going to have to go to Hawkins stuff. Anyway, that's it. All right, that's going to do it. And if you're out at the track, by all means, hit us up. Let's do a tweet up or something like that. And thank you for listening. Check out the archive. The winner's edition from the championship. If you're one of those people like, I don't like that kind of audio, I would listen. There was some good stuff. Coletta guys, great, a lot of fun. Championships were decided. So go listen to NHRA Nitro. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. We'll see you next time. Good luck to whoever wins the title in each category of NASCAR. You like it? Category? Ford EcoBoost, 300, 200, and 400. We will be there. WFO, everybody.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Yeah, welcome to the party.